Yes, so distance casting for snapper. Wind's blowing from the southeast, it's pretty strong, it's about 20 to 25 knots, but that's okay, the swell's not up. Tide's going out, so it's going to be fairly safe for me to an extent. As safe as rock fishing gets. So distance casting for snapper using salted slimy mackerel, and I'll probably be using pilchards as well. See how I go, and I hope to entertain you. Okay, so I've been checking out the rocks here for about 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes I'd say, probably more like 15 minutes. I've checked out several lulls and several sets, so several small wave periods, several large wave periods, and it appears to be safe enough. So that's why I'm fishing here. So for anyone that's wondering how do you pick a spot, first check the spot, make sure that there's not too much water coming over. That's one. Two, make sure that where you're going to stand, there's not much water coming over where you're standing. Three, make sure there's an escape route. So where you're standing, you can quickly go and escape if you need to. Well, quickly means a walk away, don't run. Preferably don't run. Anyway, I'll see you out there. Woo! Big waves. Still a lot of water coming through. Wow, that was a decent set that come through then. I just got a bit of a knock then. So chances are I could even be baited. Using salted slimy mackerel, it's still a soft fish. It just makes it slightly tougher. Anyway, see how I go here. I think I've got something on. Hey, little sand flathead. There you go. The camera person's smiling. Little sand flathead, which it's legal. I know you might think, why am I hanging on to such a tiny little flathead? Well, because the camera person won't let me go, let it go. So anyway, sand flathead have only got to be 33 centimetres. So first one in the bag. So just for consistency's sake, I want to measure it up. Look at that. It's 40 centimetres. So I know it looks really tiny, but at the end of the day, you can clearly see it's 40 centimetres. So I'm hanging on to that. There's no doubt about that. I thought it was maybe a bit smaller. I thought it might have been about 38 centimetres. Anyway, first up, first cast. How good's that? I thought it was too good to be true. A horrible moray eel. And you know what? That can have my hook. You can have the hook. Yeah. It was a bloody big moray eel. No matter how many of those I catch, mate, they're not fun. That's for sure. Oh, not again. I was getting little pecks and I was going, oh no, have I hooked something horrible again? Well, not as horrible, but certainly not desirable. The eastern wirracod. And they very often swallow your baits right down as well. You know, I forgot to bring my pliers with me, so when I hook one of these things I can get the hooks out. These things have got nasty, nasty spines on them too, so just watch out for the gills. Sometimes you can use your hook as a, oh, look at that, beautiful. How good's that? And I still get still get most of my bait back. You know, the swell fluctuates a lot. It could be dropping off. It could be rising slightly for an hour or two. You got to look for consistency. So if you see the swell rising because there's more bigger waves, well then you've got to keep an eye out for that. Even though we're going towards a low tide, doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to get rougher. There's this misinterpretation with anglers, that rock anglers that is, that just because the tide's going out, it's going to get safer. It's not necessarily true. There's also a huge misinterpretation with anglers thinking about freak waves. I mean, really, freak waves. Seriously, think about it. That's a wave that's coming out of nowhere. If you really analyse that correctly, there's a number of factors to that. You probably weren't checking out your area well enough. You didn't check enough lulls and sets. Probably didn't check where you're going to stand. You weren't looking out to sea far enough to retreat away from a wave. I mean, face it, the wave coming out of nowhere, a freak wave coming out of nowhere, think about it, it's quite ridiculous to even think that. Because if there was a freak wave, think of all the surfers that would be getting smashed, and they don't. It's rock fishermen that get smashed. And the rock fishermen that tend to get smashed are the ones that aren't putting in enough homework, that boring homework of finding out whether or not it's safe enough to fish. I could spend 5 videos on just rock fishing safety alone. Oh, here we go. Oh, that was a better bite. A half good snapper bite. Oh! 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 Good red. Oh, shit. It was as dead as a doornail. Then bam. Wow. Oh, this could be about 45. Oh, it's reached me up. Oh no. Oh, had me over a ledge then. Good fish. Wow, good fish. Woo! Let's get it up here. Nice snapper. Yes. Good snapper. Wow. What a cracking fish. I don't know about being 50, but I reckon it'd be 45 at least. I know I said this in the last video. I was saying to my camera person that, you know something, one more cast. Look at that. What a cracking fish. Let's go and measure it up. Look at that, 49 centimetres. 49. How good's that? I can't believe it. So I was getting rattles from smaller snapper. Picked it up, dropped it, rattle. I thought it might have been a snapper maybe about 30 centimetres maybe. But oh, that's a start. Then completely bam, this thing comes along. Good red, it's just a fraction under 50 centimetres. Good fish. I'm blown away. Incredible. I'm going to whack this in the pond here. Just threw out a big bait. Got these massive pilchards that are about 200 mil long, and I threw out half a 200 mil pilly, so I've thrown out roughly about 100 mils of pilly. Upsized my hook, upsized my bait, used a bit of bait mate as well to secure my bait. Throwing out bigger baits for snapper is great. Bigger bait, bigger the fish, but you sacrifice distance. Chucking out a bigger bait that's several times larger than a strip of squid or a small strip of slimy mackerel or tuna fillet or whatever, and you're losing more than 20 or 30 metres. And in that case, that could make or break whether or not you get a snag. A lot of the snapper spots, unfortunately, you need to get that 80 to 110 metres. Some of them you can get away with, they're a lot closer in, the sand's a lot closer in, and you know, it's a better bottom, but probably the majority of snapper spots that you distance cast have, the reason why you distance cast is because you need to get over the reef. All right. Well, that's what happened to my pilchard bait. Just got destroyed. Soft baits, mate. So even though I was using that stretchy thread, to secure your bait. I'm still open to vermin, you know. So anyway, let's get up here. How good is that? Just one snapper around 49, 50 centimeters. The flathead, one snapper bite. That's all it took. Fantastic. I'm so rapt about that. So still a bit flabbergasted actually that I even got it. I thought I was going to end up with nothing. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate that. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll have more coming soon. Cheers.